to ThunderamaDome!
Engage audio.
You are now entering ThunderamaDome. Podcasting the thunder of domes.
This is ThunderamaDome, and I'm the man on the silver screen mountain. I'm Hollywood Nate.
And it's me, Joel.
And for our second episode, we're headed out of the mean streets of Italy and up into outer space. The theme of our two-part series is lo-fi sci-fi. We'll explain what that is. And then we're going to jump in our time machine back to the shitty year of 2020, where the only way to see a film was to head to the drive-in. Or you could watch it at home, but who wants to do that? So we went to the drive-in, we documented that trip, which you'll hear a little snippet of on this episode, and then I also brought my Russian-born stepmother-in-law on a separate occasion to the drive-in for her very first time. But to catch that, check out Beyond ThunderamaDome, Valentina and the Drive-In. It's its own little mini episode expanding upon the drive-in theme that we talk about here today. But the main focus of this episode,
Nick Castle's The Last Starfighter.
bam! So strap in. This is ThunderamaDome, Episode 2, Lo-Fi Sci-Fi.
So today's episode is called Lo-Fi Sci-Fi. What's that about, Nathan?
Last Starfighter has a little bit of this lower budget kind of aesthetic to it, slightly. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I'm saying lo-fi sci-fi, that's just us being cute, having fun with it. Because if you take something like Star Wars, which is the gold standard of films that came out, because it redefined the entire genre for a decade plus of these sci-fi films coming out, then you watch Starfighter, it's great, but it has a little bit of that pinching pennies feel to it. Mm-hmm. And then next week when we watch Kroll, it also kind of has actually has a little bit of a...
They were saving money on the script, right?
They were saving money on the script.
All production.
Which I think, oddly, these films kind of have the opposite problem for each other. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's why we picked the moniker of lo-fi sci-fi. We put these two together and...
Right, we're going to mud wrestle these movies down to the ground and see what we can get out of them.
I like it. But today, Starfighter, I'm hearing a tune in my head. What does it sound like? This song.
As soon as I haven't, I'm just going to say this already, but I haven't watched this movie in a long time. And as soon as I heard that theme song, it just like zapped me back to the theater, being a little kid.
I can't wait. I really can't wait to talk about this movie. It's so good. But this movie is an 80s movie that revolves around a teenager playing an arcade game.
Right.
An arcade game that is actually just a test to find and recruit the best starfighter out there. And it really gave me this nostalgia for these arcade halls of our youth. Yeah, like... You know, where you go in and it just feels like as soon as you get through into that door, it feels muggy with kid sweat, and pizza oven, like heat coming out. And
you can watch pimples growing on people's faces.
And you just, your pocket feels heavy with the change. Like, where am I going to place these quarters? I mean, so you really had to plan ahead.
Yeah, you got like $5 whole in quarters in your pockets, pulling your shorts down. Do you remember when they started charging more? It was like $1 a game or $2 a game.
You're like,
I'm not going to last.
Is it worth it? Exactly. Yeah. But my question for you is, of these arcade games, right, of the ones that really kind of resonated through time, what is the one or two video games that you remember playing the most, and what is the one that you would maybe hope that was like this golden ticket, like Starfighter?
Oof. One of the ones that I always looked out for was the Temple of Doom. The Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones video game.
Me too. That's my answer.
And here's the problem for me is that I was never any good at any of these games. I was kind of like a voyeur. I just kind of walked around and lost. But I remember loving the Temple of Doom Temple of Doom game. And then fast forward maybe 10, 15 years and Nickel Nickel comes out. Remember Nickel
Yes.
Nickel? I remember. So that Nickel Nickel, it was like every game was 5 cents, which was a deal. And then your pockets were really heavy. But I remember going to the Nickel Nickel and just like fingers crossed. I'm like 20, but I was like, oh my gosh, I hope they have Temple
Did
of
they
Doom.
have it? I don't remember.
They had it.
What?
And I played it. And I realized this was like sad adult disappointment. I realized that there's only like 2 levels and they just keep rotating.
Oh.
And it's like,
Do you remember how it always said, "We walk from here"?
Yeah.
I was like, I want to hear that line.
yeah, it
After
was
the
like,
minecart.
yeah, it was like 2 or 3 levels back to back and they just changed colors as it got harder or something like that. So that was kind of
Lame.
a sad turnout. But they're kind of the same game, but 2 games that I remember loving, but never getting farther than like a minute in was the Space Ace or Dragon's Lair games.
Gosh, those were the ones I just felt like I threw my quarter away.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know what I was doing. It happened so fast. I'm like, wait, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
But I loved the look of it.
Yeah, the
Don Bluth
yeah,
animated.
totally. The animation was amazing and the weird, crazy worlds that you could get through if you were any good at it, which that wasn't me.
Those were my favorite games, but I sucked at them.
Yeah.
I think I learned early on, don't play those games. I would just try to go stand behind
Right.
a teen, like a really older teenager who I knew could
Right.
get far, so I could see what happens. I just want to know what happened in the story.
Exactly. Some dude with an Iron Maiden shirt on.
That guy's going to hell.
He rode his bike there. But yeah, those were 2 of the ones that I wish could have been more fleshed out in my life, like a movie, or if I could have gotten the golden ticket to go into those worlds, that would have been awesome.
Dude, those games were phenomenal. And also
Phenomenally difficult.
phenomenally difficult.
I always liked Tron too, but it wasn't the greatest game.
It was so confusing. I was like, you could go to different areas and have different.
Kind of like the Tron Olympics. You can do the bike races or throw balls at each other and hit each other off the off the court into computer death.
Do you remember Spy Hunter?
Oh yeah, Spy Hunter was
That was
awesome.
a great game, man.
Yeah, that was one I could play all right.
Yeah.
I honestly was never any good at it. Arcade games, like I'd whip through my quarters real quick.
I was never
lasted.
lasted. And I don't think they were meant to last, but I mean, you're just like, okay. But yeah, the one that always ate my quarters was either WrestleFest or WWF Superstars. Andre the Giant and $1 Million Man would come on. They'd be like, "Rah, rah, rah." So that would be the one I always wish that I could actually beat and then become a professional wrestler. But me, like if I actually went into professional wrestling, there's no way I would last a second with any of those guys, especially Andre the Giant. You'd be like, oh, yeah, smush. But watching Last Starfighter, which is a film about this arcade game, made me kind of sentimental of this stuff. And it made me think, like, these things are going away. Like, arcade games are going away. I know, like you said, Nickel Nickel, that was one thing I remembered.
Right.
I'm sure there's some, but the ones around here, they don't exist anymore.
Right.
Chuck E. Cheese filed for bankruptcy.
Well, there's I wouldn't want to take away anybody's at-home entertainment, but there was something more special about you had to go to the place.
Exactly.
You only got limited access, and then you'd go home and you'd think about it. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go back. And it almost felt like it was your golden ticket to a different universe,
Yeah, totally. But unfortunately, COVID didn't help the situation with it all, so...
I'm not looking forward to all the movies, the pandemic.
We lived it. Yeah, I don't want to see any movies about it. But one retro form of entertainment that COVID actually helped, that was kind of dying, and it really kind of helped put some life into it, was the drive-in.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone out there remembers 2020. My goodness, that was the one place that you could go see a movie and actually feel like you're part of something. It was this magical kind of little spot.
2020 was like the whole world had to go stand in the corner.
Timeout.
So, yeah, we were all on timeout.
It was
like, oh, that sucks.
It was not a lot of fun, but I did find fun at the drive-in, and so did a lot of people. And like the drive-in business was actually helped by being forced to
social distance.
So weird that this old form of entertainment was like, this is the only way you can watch movies now because it's safe. Crazy.
Also that desire to still be social and have those experiences together with strangers instead of you could watch the same movies at home.
Felt like you were connecting to something bigger. It was this experience that was so much fun. And you go back in time, both Last Starfighter and Krull came out in the July month of their release years in the early 80s.
Ooh, spicy hot.
Yeesh. And that's the big slate.
Right, the
It
summer
still is,
blockbusters.
yeah, summer blockbusters. And that's the sweet spot for drive-in movie watching adventures.
Right.
And we got our own little adventure.
Hot summer nights.
Hot summer nights, because we went to go see one of these drive-in double feature series that was put on by Beyond Fest, American Cinematheque, and the Mission Tiki Drive-In in Montclair. They got together in 2020 and still did Beyond Fest, albeit a drive-in edition.
They pulled it off.
And man, when they launched this thing, it was so hard to get tickets. Like it was like the lottery. I felt like when you finally could score a ticket. But we got tickets to RoboCop and Terminator. Yeah. And here's a little taste of that night.
ThunderamaDome.
So this is Unit 154. We located that van by the old mill in Sector 3D. Now, where's that backup?
Is this the beginning of the end for Peter Weller?
Freeze.
Mind if I zip this up?
Your ass is mine.
No! Not yet, it ain't.
Me first.
Have you seen that 70s show?
You a good cop?
Least
Hot shot.
intimidating bad guy of all time.
Cops don't like me, so I don't like cops.
All right, so here we are. We just finished RoboCop.
We did it.
And this place is jam-packed. It's a sold-out event, and it took us 45 minutes just to even get popcorn. We almost missed the beginning.
It's been nice. It kind of puts all the craziness in the back of your mind, and everyone's out here. You got your parking lot social distancing, but it seems like a regular drive-in experience anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of cool to be at a crowd again and people honking and cheering, and
Looking forward to Terminator starting.
here we go.
Seeing old Arnie naked one more time.
Man, I felt like Pee Wee Herman at the end of Big Adventure when he's coming back and he's got the snacks for everyone.
Oh my god.
That's how so many snacks we bought that night. There was just two of us, and we had like a family of 8.
Oh man.
Popcorn,
It was-
carne asada fry, every candy. Oh, it was
Man,
exciting.
And being in a big crowd, everyone's in their car and everyone's like honking and having fun. And
Right.
I felt like Alex Rogan in his little
Right.
community of Starlight, Starbright.
Yeah, I felt like a teenager again for sure.
It was great.
Sneaking a couple beers, eating some licorice.
Yes, we did sneak a few.
Don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone. But thank you, Beyond Fest. It was fantastic.
It was beyond.
But you know what movie would also be really good on the drive-in screen?
What?
The Last Starfighter.
Hey, we should talk about it.
Greetings, Starfighter. You have been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Zur and the Kodan Armada. Get ready? Prepare for blastoff.
The Last Starfighter, released in 1984, written by Jonathan Battelle and directed by Nick Castle. Starring Lance Guest, Catherine Mary Stewart, Robert Preston, Norman Snow, and Dan O'Harley. Is that how you say it?
Hurley?
Something like that.
Hurley.
Alex Rogan is a big city dreamer stuck in a podunk but close-knit trailer park community. However, his high school sweetie pie, Maggie, doesn't have the same get-out-of-dodge angst that Alex does. His biggest accomplishment in life? Probably just beating an arcade game. But it actually is a big accomplishment because he soon finds himself recruited by Centauri as a starfighter pilot when he is asked to team up with an alien named Grig in the fight against the Kodan Armada and the evil Zur. And to make sure his mission goes undetected, Alex has a robot clone called Beta to take over his life on Earth. There's nothing like saving the galaxy while your awkward robot clone is chilling at home, smooching your girl, or at least trying to.
So it's been a long time since I've seen this movie, and as soon as it started, I started remembering things. And I was like, man, what is this? This reminds me of Karate Kid and The Last Starfighter. It's like, no, wait, hold on. I'm watching The Last Starfighter. And I kept thinking it was like I had Karate Kid, and then what movie does it remind me of? Then I looked it up, and this and Karate Kid were both released in 1984. So
maybe you watched them back to back or something?
Well, just sort of that like small town, like it starts you off like in a nice introduction, and this kid, Daniel LaRusso obviously has a different story, but he moves into an apartment complex. This one starts you off in a trailer park, humble beginnings, but it's got that great 80s setup, and you got your little community going, you get your characters going right away.
Yeah, the setup is really effective because the writer, Jonathan Patel, I think had originally set this in suburbia, and I think at one point Steven Spielberg was interested, but when Nick Castle, the director, came on, he's like, no, that's too everyday, it's too everything that we're seeing already, too E.T., let's move it to a trailer park.
Yeah, it adds just this tiny little uniqueness to it. Like, there's nothing grand about the change, but it does add something to the story.
But have you ever seen any place that is that like, hey buddy, what's going on over there?
Right.
I mean, it's a little you know what it really reminded me of?
What did it remind you of?
The beginning of Beauty and the Beast. It's Belle walking. This is Alex Rogan walking around, or Maggie walking around. It's like, bonjour, bonjour.
I heard a
little
great
town, little trailer park.
Somebody posted, all jokes are on meme form now, but something like maybe Belle would have more friends if she didn't sing her song of critiquing the town every morning
out loud. Yeah. But I really like the small town feel of it. I do think the trailer park adds this kind of like homey, heartfelt.
What happens here
stays here.
Yeah, it's like you can accept that the whole world's not going to find out about it because it's not in the middle of L.A. or.
Yeah. Something that was on the tip of my tongue, but I don't know if I just wasn't smart enough to figure it out or not. But one of the things on the special feature that the screenwriter talked about is the inspiration for coming up with this idea was Jonathan Patel, the screenwriter, was reading at that time the sci-fi novel The Once and Future King, which is basically a retelling of the Excalibur tale itself. And he was on his lunch break, and he sees this kid just kicking ass on this video game machine, and he thinks, what if this video game was kind of like an Excalibur thing where, it sends off the signal for this kid.
I like how dated that is. An arcade with a book. Like that.
But I thought that was a really interesting thing because it does have that Excalibur kind of the chosen one feel to it. And if you look actually on the side of the arcade game, there is a sword there, which I didn't notice. I was like, oh yeah, I should have picked up on that. But
right on. Is the game called The Last Starfighter?
It's called Starfighter.
Oh, okay, because I was like,
Reading Starfighter.
That's a little too prophetic.
We meet Alex. He's playing the video game Starfighter.
Right.
Shortly after, he comes across this totally 80s pickup truck.
Yeah, what is that, like a cherry red? It seemed kind of classic, but then it had like the lighting on the roof. It kind of reminded me of at the end of Back to the Future when he gets his like super badass Tacoma that now looks super dated. But it was high futuristic back then.
Yeah.
That was like the sweetest thing on the block.
Like, to me, this screams 80s. It made me, I was obviously too young, but I'm like, man, I want to go back to the 80s and live in this.
That truck was in every movie in the 80s.
It was.
Yeah.
Everyone was there to have fun, but Alex states, they're like, hey, or Maggie's the one that's like, hey, are you going to come with us? And he's like, and I think he's dating her, and he's like kind of like puts everybody down in there because he's going to the mailbox to go see what's in there for him because he wants to get
out of Dodge.
I want to get out of this small town.
Park. Yeah, it's the smallest town.
This is what he says. He's like, he wants to do something with his life, and he's not going to sit around all day and shine his pickup truck, go to the drive-in, get drunk, and throw up every Saturday night.
Right.
Does he not know about our segment that fucking played? I mean, like, the drive-in is rad. Why wouldn't you want that?
Right. Who doesn't want to throw up every Saturday night?
You're going to go to our time right now and notice that there's not as many drive-ins as there was back then. It's special.
Right. And I think I've heard that kids aren't drinking as much, so people aren't throwing up as much. You're going to miss that, Alex.
I'm not going to say this movie is 100% like Star Wars because it's not, but there is a lot of similarities.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
Right around here, his mom calls out because Elvira, which is an insane name to me for someone in a trailer park, the mom's like, hey, Elvira's power's out. Can you come fix it? And he's like, oh, Mom, I was going to Silver Lake.
Right.
But I just wanted to say I'm going to the Tashi station to pick up some power converters. It was like beat for beat what Skywalker says. Luke! He's looking out to the stars and looking out to the two sons of Tatooine. It was
I'm 100% certain that was the blueprint for probably every sci-fi script, every young hero's journey, whatever.
Totally. But he says that big monologue about that.
Then he's mad that he can't go shine his truck and throw up.
But then he's like bored with his life. So, after he gives that talk and stuff, like, what's he going to go do to change his life and to get out of town? I'm going to go play that video game again.
That's all that's left.
That's all that's there.
Yeah, he opened his piece of mail. So he storms off up to the Last Starfighter arcade game and he slams his quarter in and starts taking his teenage angst out on the old Kodan Armada.
The Starlight Starbright trailer park has so much going on that when Alex Rogan is about to beat this video game, suddenly everyone is like, oh my gosh, hey everybody!
Right. He's going to finish his crossword puzzle.
Alex is on the last bite of his burrito.
The whole town comes out to rejoice and cheer him on.
These old women are like trampling over little kids. Dead men are coming out of their graves like, Alex is going to beat the record.
First of all, I thought, because it's been so long since I've seen it, I thought he was going to lose and it was going to one more beat of downplaying the guy or his story. But then I thought it was kind of sweet. It was like, he's kind of stuck there. He's turned into the handyman. He has to fix everyone's toilet and electricity. But there was there was an element of community that they still cared about him, and it wasn't just a bunch of jerks bossing him around all the time. So even though it doesn't introduce the other characters. It's not supposed to really. But it's supposed to introduce give you a taste of what he's living in. I just thought it was sweet.
Right. And it feels like this neighborhood microcosm of characters. You got Otis. He's a great character. And you have Granny that Maggie's living with.
I got to say, and I don't know if this is where you're already heading, but I feel like they did a lot in 20 minutes. I think it was like perfectly written, perfectly directed for this kind of movie.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that by the time he beats the Starfighter game and Centauri shows up, it's been like 20 minutes.
It's the hero's journey, right, in writer's terminology. And yes, it's semi-beat for beat like Star Wars, but that is the journey. Like, you set all these little things up. And script-wise, it's very tight. They knew the beats that they had to hit, and it sails. And you fall in love with Alex. You fall in love with Maggie. Like, I'm like...
It's hard not to fall in love with.
Man, the biggest part of this movie for me was their relationship. Her eyes. I loved them. I got lost. I got lost in his eyes.
Yeah.
I loved them together. I just wanted to know more about them the whole time. And as far off as he goes and his crazy adventures and all this cool stuff that happens, the thing that grounds the story is their relationship, the romantic interplay.
No, I agree. And it's lean, but it's still there. And I could easily understand if someone goes, I missed it a little bit. But I also could understand that was someone that was like, well, I was here for the sci-fi movie, so I was satisfied with what they did. I thought it was just as well done as you can as well done as it can be for such a short amount of time. But
the one thing that really kind of sticks with me though is like, how did these old ladies know what the command ship was? When he's playing the video game, they're like, it's the command ship.
Well,
how did they know?
They've been working on that high score for 80
years.
years.
How many times have they all come up to see this one part? Oh, he lost. Like, all right, get back to your chocolate milk.
Go back to bed, Elvira.
Fix your own electricity. I'm getting some power converters.
This is what electricity looks like.
I do really like the character of Maggie, how she does want to be with him and he wants to go out and see the world. But here's where you get that hint of she's scared. Like she kind of doesn't really want to leave the trailer park. She's a little timid to step outside this comfortable circle where everyone knows everyone. Everybody is friendly.
Right.
And he just wants to get out and see the world. And that's where this opposite ends of the spectrum of their wants and needs.
It's not that difficult being the hottest girl in a trailer park, in a senior citizen trailer park. So what if she gets out and Resita's got a lot of competition?
That is true.
Yeah.
Elvira was not looking so hot. But when we really start cooking with this movie is when Centauri shows up.
Right. Well, so he conquers the Starfighter game. He beats it, and then...
But he can't beat the world.
Well, then dust is blowing through. Nothing changes. It's like, that's exciting, but
It's a
now
game.
what? Right.
Yeah.
But now what?
So he gets angry and walks up there, and that's when the Greetings, Starfighter.
Right. Coming from the game.
I love that. I'm pretty sure it's Robert Preston's voice coming through, the guy who plays Centauri.
Right.
But Centauri, he is not there for cigarettes or bubblegum, my boy, and he's got the best lines in this film.
Right.
I love his delivery. I love this actor, which I hadn't really seen him in anything else, but I just remembered him, loving him as a kid, and seeing it again, he still holds up. Everyone is really well cast in this movie,
Totally.
but he shines. He's got
Absolutely.
a very small part. They say he was this lovable con man is how they crafted him.
Mm-hmm.
And the screenwriter actually suggested Robert Preston because in the movie The Music Man, which I have not seen, he's in it and he's a lovable con man in that. And so,
Hey.
but everyone was like, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's rewrite the dialogue because he talks so fast. And we're going to give him all these extra lines and how he would deliver it. So you watch this thing and
Right, pops and
yeah,
sizzles
pops,
and- yeah.
sings, and this is the part that always stood out. Centauri, I love him.
Yeah, he's actually one of the few parts that I remembered from as a kid. He's one of my favorites.
So Centauri reveals to Alex that, hey, you've been chosen because of this video game. It wasn't actually a video game. This was a test sent out. And unfortunately, I love the part where he says it's supposed to end up in Vegas.
Right.
But it ended
Right.
up here, and it was just like destiny that Alex Rogan found.
Kind
it.
of
And
like Excalibur. in the
Excalibur,
ocean.
and this
Yeah.
is where it really shines.
Right.
And it was such a great story idea.
Right.
This video game, which is all of our fantasy that as kids, you're like, oh, like,
Yeah, like if all your video game skills could suddenly come handy one day in real life.
yeah, like you're a plumber, you jump on turtle shells, and you eat mushrooms.
Right. Yeah, I got a master's in warping.
This movie is warp speed.
Great setup. There's no fat on it. Then Centauri comes in, whisks you away. I mean, he's a great character. He's fun. He's energetic. You like him immediately. You feel connected. And things are weird because there's the beta and you never see his face. Like it's already getting weirder at the right pace. And the movie starts.
Yeah.
But you're already into it. At least I was.
Their car flies away, and they're at Saturn just like in seconds. And Centauri's taking his face off.
Right.
I love that scene. I remember that scene and be
Right.
like,
It's awesome watching a movie like this that I haven't seen legitimately haven't seen this since I was probably 7 or something. But I remembered
Wow.
so much of it.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh yeah. And taking the face off. And something, we'll get into this deeper, but almost, that's a huge asterisk, almost everything held up. Like his makeup when he took it off, like whoever designed all this stuff knew how to get away with like they knew their limitations and Centauri had a cool, unique face on him, and it was just kind of lights and a blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then but the makeup for the other guys were really well done. It's like it looked like they spent their money in the right spots. Is basically what I'm saying.
I agree. However, watching this, you can tell like they didn't have as much money as other ones.
That's my point, though. That's my point.
So
they used it wisely.
Picked their shots. I
Right.
agree. Their sets were fairly plain, but they had the
They
big
looked
spots
good
when they
enough.
needed them.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. But it was all, and I guess this is you're helping me get to my point. It was all about character. All the characters that needed makeup or that needed a little pizzazz, that's where the money went, and I think that was a wise choice for a movie like this.
It is. But I mean, just like it's hard to ignore Star Wars and everything that we've seen in like the Mos Eisley Cantina and all that stuff. And then like when you go and you meet these other starfighters when you're finally with Alex when he meets these guys. I mean, when you actually look at it, well, there's like 6 sets of these aliens or whatever, but they're all the sets. They're all the same. Like one set who's this race, and then you got another set, and it's versus like mixing it up a little bit more.
Right.
Which, I mean, obviously it's probably cheaper to make 2 versus, let's make 16 different guys versus let's make 8 and just pair them off.
But they looked great.
Did it? No, I'm not taking it away. I'm just saying, like, I'm
not arguing
knowing
with
this
you.
is like a
Right.
B movie.
Yeah.
You can see where they did little things, but it looks great.
That's basically my point. Is the things they did well rival Star Wars in the makeup department? I think I was impressed. But like it's been a long time since I saw it, and you watch a movie as an adult and you're like, ugh, this is nowhere near what I remembered. The quality's not there.
Yes.
This hit everything that I remembered, except for the CGI, which is another conversation. But
we'll talk about it. Yeah.
the makeup was all on par. And is it Grig?
But yeah, Grig's his name.
Come on, that makeup was fantastic.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the movie, he kind of looks like a talking Tootsie Roll.
You stole what I was gonna say, and you didn't know this. But the other alien race, the Kodans,
The villains.
yeah, the villains,
The villains.
they, to me, their makeup job looked like chewed up, wadded Tootsie Rolls wrapped around beef jerky and shabu shabu
That's exactly what I was
plastered
thinking.
to someone's face. That was like, man, that's a great makeup job as well.
They kind of look like licorice left in the sun.
the chocolate licorice that no one ever eats. You know,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want that. I want
There's some red tint to it.
Yeah.
Meaty, muscly look.
tendony, right?
Yeah.
So these are the Kodans, the bad guys, but Zur is this traitor who has come to their side. He's one of these bald, weird-looking guys who's the son of the leader.
They look like who's the assistant in Bespin, Lando's assistant.
Yes, yeah.
They all kind of look like that, except
Instead of
bald, bushy hair.
Well, instead of the metal piece that he's got around, they have this
Right, which is an odd.
guitar.
Yeah.
Guitar.
Even the women.
Yeah,
Yes,
like,
they all
oof.
got the cul-de-sacs going on, but long, like elven.
Keebler elven, misshapen heads with funky.
I mean, more like elven, like long, legless, silvery, wispy hair. That's what I mean.
Beautiful elves.
Either way, though, no one should have long elven hair and a bald top. That's bad news. But what's going on with Alex right now?
So Alex is there with all the fighters, and when he realizes what's gonna, that he's actually gonna be going to war against this armada, the Kodan Armada. I love that they use that term, the Kodan Armada. I was like, ooh, it sounds so scary.
Right. There's history there.
Yeah. Well, guess what? He doesn't want to be involved. And
Right.
he's like, what have I gotten into, Centauri? Like, I don't
Right.
want to be doing this. And Centauri is saying, like, what, are you scared? There's nothing to be, there's death.
I wanted to get out of town, not out of
Not out of orbit.
Yeah.
And then the magical head of Zur shows up. And I really liked this guy as a villain.
That is so funny because I have in my notes that I thought this guy was terrible.
You know why? Hold on. I think this is why, though. Because I was like, oh, I kind of buy this guy.
Because you were drinking?
No, it's because this line, which I've always remembered it being so weird, it was like, "Da League, a refuge of weak worlds not ready to be our equals." And I had no idea what he said until last night. I rewound it 3 times to be like, what's he saying right there?
I don't even know what you said.
Star League, but he says, Da League.
This is probably not why he sounded odd, but he seemed a little bit like a
He had an accent.
okay, so like a Eastern European, like, hey guys, we're gonna get the cool game, all right.
I don't know if it was that. I
There's
thought,
a Star League, right? We're gonna have some fun tonight, all right.
it was maybe a little bit more English, but
I might be
maybe.
exaggerating, but it
was
was a fun idea.
It was good.
That scene when I might be jumping ahead too much, but when they finally the meatheads with the beef jerky face, they get rid of him. They decide that he's no longer their leader, and they drag him out. And he's like, waving his sword around.
I am Emperor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like he was an off Broadway actor. And
I wouldn't doubt it.
what if he showed up and he had that hair?
You cast.
Yeah.
And you got 2 Van Damme bumps
Right.
in the front of
We
your
can't
head.
afford anyone else, so we're just gonna do all the makeup like this guy. I want to be in the sci-fi. All right, cool guys. All right,
Da League. Unfortunately, I don't want to keep going back to it, but I think I am. The most haunting death. When Zur shows the video, which that was
this
like
is
the
why
first.
Alex was like, "New things."
Yeah.
Ooh boy.
That guy, the master spy, gets his face melted by a laser. Pretty graphic.
It was graphic.
PG.
Yeah. I had to stop texting. I was like, this is great.
It seemed like all of a sudden I was in one of those Italian films. I'm like, wait a minute. What's going on? Is this a Eurocrime space opera?
It could have been with
that guy. Hey,
darling. By the way, we skipped over one of my favorite parts. So when Alex gets in the car.
Centauri's car? You're talking about when Alex leaves Earth?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
For a brief second, he's introduced to Beta. Shocks him or whatever. And
the
then,
man in the shadows.
Right. The man in the shadow. You don't see his face.
We don't know who he is.
It's just a body. And then the body gets out of the car, and Alex and Centauri, there's no reference to him. He flies off. I forgot about him. So Beta goes into Alex's house and gets under the covers or something like that. The first time we see him is when he's transforming into Alex.
Yes.
And he looks like a sack of tapioca pudding.
That part always scared me as a kid.
It should have.
Because... Yeah, it's Maggie. Maggie comes in and tries to talk to him in bed. 'Cause it was after he got rejected. Like she was trying to comfort him, but he's like under
squirming and moaning,
And
but he's moving around.
He's moving around, but she's like, "All right, well, I'll come back later."
Yeah. Okay, bye.
And then we cut to the close up of the sheet pulls back, and it's this undulating, like pulsating skin, lidless eyes that are bloodshot, and you see the veins. And as a kid, I always remember being like, "Here it comes!"
Right. I don't want that pudding anymore.
Speaking of Beta, I think I actually did have this movie on Beta taped. I remember my parents' handwriting.
You guys were the one that had the Beta.
We were the one.
Yeah.
And I watched it a lot. So all these scenes, like when I watched it again, they just really stick with you and come back, and you're like, I was terrified of this.
Yeah, that was creepy. So, fast forward, we find out that Beta is, surprise, Alex. He's supposed to be there to take over Alex's role just so people don't freak out and start looking for him so Alex can go off and save the universe.
Yes.
And I thought this is borderline useless commentary, but I was thinking about it. What a cool TV series this would make, or like a mini series where it's like you get Beta on Earth figuring out how to be a human, because there were some interesting scenes in there, I thought. And then Alex is in space trying to figure out how to become a hero. And I just, again, this is a low budget B movie, but they just use their time wisely, I felt. And so there's these little scenes of interaction between Maggie, who doesn't know that Alex is, or doesn't know that Beta is a cyborg essentially. And he's trying to be like, how would I be cool, and little lessons, but it all works, it all fits. It's kind of like you could easily cut that out of the script.
It wouldn't be a full movie if you cut that out of the script, because you still got to stay with Maggie. Like, she's so integral, and you still got to see them playing together. But it's really not Alex Rogan; it's this Beta unit, right? And it's almost like you get this comedy section, and I do know that when they test screened the movie, the audience really reacted to the Beta scenes, right? So, and they only had a few at the time, so they added.
But it's two fish out of water stories that, like you almost don't need Beta. Like, I mean, it works so well.
It felt a little like, maybe when you step back and look at it, it's like, it's a little sitcom-y, because this guy's learning how to be a human. And but that's what gave it, like we keep going back to the word, but it gives it the heart of the film, because, we've all been in that place. How do I talk to this girl? But it's like, really, this guy doesn't know how to talk. And
it's quite as literally as you could imagine.
Yeah, and like he's like all grossed out by the fact that she put her tongue in his ear and stuff like that. It's like, gross. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And she's like, can't believe that he's acting so strange. And
I love when they're in the truck. They're
great.
struggling to interact, and he asks her, "What do you want from me?" or something like that. And she's like, "I just want you to like relax and have fun." And he was like, "If you were me, what would that look like?" yeah.
That That was such a great scene, because that laugh was terrifying.
Yeah.
And actually, what I did find out is this was a reshoot, and Lance...
he obviously had that wig on.
He had a wig because he had cut his hair. He was going to do another role.
Yeah.
And he was actually, like, extremely sick for this week when they went back and did pickups.
Right.
So they had to, like, plaster all this makeup on him to make him look better. It has that kind of artificial feel to it. Like, the look of him. And then the other part where he, like, takes his head off.
Oh, that was
and
great.
Lewis, his little brother, is like, huh?
You're having a dream.
So many
funny, great little
Yeah.
sitcom-y moments that just make you fall in love with the film.
Which, if we can get to the weakness, I think it kind of covers up that there's really not a lot of plot to this. Alex's adventures in space are kind of the weakest part. At least they were for me.
You're talking about the third act?
Yeah, just feels so rushed.
Yeah.
The setup was good. Grig was great. Then Alex, he fights the guys and he kills the guy. He blows them up, and it's almost like superfluous.
As much as I love the film with Centauri and the love story and the music, we haven't talked about the music, but Craig Safan's score is epic and has the melody that you just kind of start humming after, and I love it. It really enhances the film. It really brings up, I think, these performances and plays to the heroism and the heartwarming factor to it.
I feel like it's on par with everything else. It's simple, and they use it a bunch, which I'm not complaining. It works every time. And
it's the Ennio,
yeah,
right? Like get the theme, right?
Yeah.
Put the theme out there, bring it back in, and keep playing it. But the one thing I did notice watching it now as an old man is it just how easy everything kind of felt in it, right? Like like all these other starfighters die, and they're like, oh, well, we're just one small.
It's just us left.
You're just the one gun star.
You're the what?
The Last Starfighter. There's the title.
Right.
And then they go and they have to hit one spot, which the exact same thing happens in Star Wars. They got to hit one little tiny spot, but that seemed hard in that film.
Right.
This, like, they hit it right away, and then they have this magical button that's gonna kill everything in sight once everything gets too difficult, and it just happens too fast, and I feel like the bad guy stays on the ship the whole time.
You think that was a budget thing? It was like
probably. I mean,
this was early CGI too, which
yeah. So let's talk about the CGI real quick. So this and Tron were like the very first movies that had extensive computer-generated images for it, and 27 minutes of this film are CGI, and this was like technology that they were inventing at that point.
Right.
It's good. It's great for what it is, but watching it now with what we have, it looks very, very dated.
It's about as flat as it could get. It reminded me of, did you ever play that game Wing Commander?
I was going to say that, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I think Wing Commander had better CGI than this, but I got to say, like, God bless them, because if they didn't step over these stones, we wouldn't be where we're at. So someone had to get it started, and someone had to, suffer through the beta stage, pun intended.
Watching it on like Blu-ray or 4K, I mean, I think you're starting to see it.
Well, so the last time I saw anything of this movie, I don't know if I YouTubed something. I don't recall, but the only part I saw was the Death Blossom scene, and it looked so shitty. I was so disappointed. I was like, I'm not interested in watching this movie again. But with all the things that I loved, I had forgotten that I loved about it, didn't bother me at all. The pacing and the writing was more of a like, oh, okay, well that,
like, all right, wrap it up, guys. We gotta go home.
But the CGI was like, all right, yeah, it was dated, but I'm so into this movie, it doesn't bother me.
I just want Alex Rogan to win, and he does.
Right.
Meanwhile, on Earth, let's go back real quick. The Zandozan, the hunter killer.
It's like a hammerhead piranha with human skin.
I love the design of it. I love how
their little angry mouths.
Yeah, and I love how like when Centauri shoots his arm, like it just pops off. It just immediately falls to the floor. Yeah. Those were such a great visual of this threat. You're going to be hunted by these Zandozans from Zur.
Right.
And you can never escape because they're always
say
going to
that.
be coming.
Say
at
that 3 times fast.
Zandozan.
This is a little bit of kind of screenwriting 101. It was like they solved all their problems well, but I'm assuming that they ran into like, hey, this portion of this act is kind of getting dull. What if we send assassins? Perfect. This part needs like we're missing Alex. What does Maggie do? How about Beta Alex?
I 100% agree. I do think if someone's going to say, like, how do you write a screenplay? I think watch this movie. Beef up your third act a little bit. Make things harder somehow. Like he needs to fail it just a little bit more near the end. But they did everything so well. Like the first act, the second act, everything flows.
Right. And it's really just this kind of sliver of the third act that's like, oh, okay. but you're pumped all the way
Yeah,
going.
I don't want to take away from it.
I'm just saying that you're not bummed until it's over, but then it's not that big of a deal, or at least it wasn't.
They did a good job with like Alex and Grig kind of bonding when they're
Sure.
hiding.
Yeah.
That scene where they're showing pictures of this is the best. When Grig shows a picture of his wife to Alex, it's basically just his head photoshopped onto a picture of a woman wearing a feather boa. Being like, this is my wife. Looks a hell of a lot like me.
Like an iPhone.
It was like an iPhone. They saw the future somehow.
They knew.
That part really kind of cracked me up watching.
Because they went to Rylos and doesn't this sound like an appliance store or something? It's like, come on, kids, we gotta go to Rylos.
You got any of those Zandozans over there? No, we only got the Zerheads.
Or like a Greek restaurant.
Give me the Zandozan on the kebab.
That Zandazan sauce.
My absolute favorite shot of this movie. Can you guess what it is?
I love you, Alex Rogan.
Yes! Oh my gosh, I
feel like Spielberg flew in for one day and was like, I got 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
I wish it was more earned. I mean, let me preface this by saying this movie's great. I'm sorry, I'm stepping all over your point.
No,
but
no, say it.
It was funny that
you knew what
fucking
I was
Beta got destroyed. Or is that right?
Yeah.
Because he sacrificed himself. Sorry, we're giving the whole plot away.
She already forgot about him.
Yeah,
because she's like, that's not really him.
Right. So he's she's had 5 minutes to understand that he may or may not be a cyborg from a distant planet.
Well, she did see his insides.
I know, but you still
agree. Yes. She gets over it pretty quickly.
So, but then he steals the Beefhead's car and has to crash it into the Zandazan and saves the day. And then she turns around and just take it away.
So it's one shot. There's the explosion of the car that's burning, the immolation of Beta behind her.
That's a fucking metal song. The immolation of Beta.
Someone hits the gigantic fan behind her.
Right.
So it starts blowing her hair. The music from
Swelling.
Craig's swells up there, right? And she turns around as we dolly in, and the fan kicks up even more, blowing her hair back. And she says, and the music hits right there, just like, I love you, Alex Rogan.
Right.
And I always heard my name when she said this line. It's like,
that's funny because it sounded like Joel Stans. I could have
I'm Alex Rogan,
Yeah.
I hope. And if you didn't fall in love with her by now, you're crazy. And she's on one of the special features of the DVD. And she's still gorgeous.
Yeah.
And she loves this scene. She's like, I just love that shot. When she talks about it, like with the exploding behind her, the car.
Not that anyone out there listening gives two shits, but me and Nate did not discuss this beforehand.
Nope. Yeah, that we try not to. We say like, all right, we're not going to say anything.
Right. But what's your favorite part?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
So good. One thing I did notice, and I want to see if you did as well, but Commander Krill, who is the Kodan guy in charge, but he's actually being,
bossed around
by this stupid Zerhead.
Right.
He has this motorized monocle that swings forward, right?
Oh, yeah.
3 times it happens in the film. And every single time that thing swings over, he blinks. And it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
But I can just imagine, he's supposed to be this like tough guy, right?
Right.
Like who's every single time. Like there's not one time. And on his last line, the best line, where he's like, and the guy, he's like, what do we do now? It's like, whoop, blink, we die.
We flinch.
He always flinches, and it's so great. Right. Something you don't notice until you watch it a couple times.
I thought there was a funny chemistry there, which I don't know if I like it or not, with the main villain and those two, right? Because they basically look identical, but they seemed annoyed with him the whole time. And he earned it, which unfortunately, I'm sorry, actor, I don't know your name, but I'm sorry, I didn't appreciate your talents in this movie. However, I'm standing by it. I didn't like it. And I felt like when he was getting dragged out, those two actors were like, fuck,
finally, get that guy out of here. But he's the only one who survives. So if they ever did have a sequel,
we're stuck with him.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of funny when Centauri showed back up. I felt like that was supposed to be a lot more dramatic than it actually was.
We got an old friend here for you.
Yeah.
Well, who? This movie's so short.
Right.
Who are we missing?
It's me. Yeah, all right. You again.
I didn't really know you that well, Centauri. I just kind of semi-knew you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there you go. You get to see Obi-Wan Kenobi again at the very end of the film.
Yeah, or
Someone
else.
But the end, when he comes back down to Earth, back down to Starlight Starbright.
Right. With the Gunstar.
With the Gunstar, and
which is the spaceship.
And everyone's up there, and
which,
Maggie's
sorry,
there.
but I feel like that was one of those things, it was bugging me, and I loved it at the same time. It's so cheesy. The Gunstar.
They didn't have the imagination. But they come back down to the trailer park. Everyone's out there. Maggie's there. You got Granny with a shotgun about to blow him away. That would be a great ending. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Alien! And it all comes back to what they set up in the very beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the chance for them to get away, but Maggie, she's like, she admits it. That was the best part of
Kind
this.
of connected all the threads.
It was the callback to it. It was so well done. She's like, you're right. Like, she just goes into it. She's like, you're right. Like, I am scared.
Well, because she says no. He asks her to come with her, and she says no.
And I thought that was such a heartfelt moment.
Right.
Heartbreaking. And eventually she obviously makes the right choice when Granny's like, just promise me to write from wherever you are.
Yep.
And then they go. The music swells again.
Whatever they lacked in some of the, in the climax, this bit of heart makes up for it.
Just the score really helps this last scene. Like,
oh yeah,
it's
really a nice reminder of why you got that music in there.
Yeah,
and when a good composer
knows when to put his foot down and hit the gas and be like,
this
is when we're going for the ride, folks.
I'm sorry, but I'm 100% convinced that if John Williams didn't knock that Star Wars soundtrack out of the park the way he did, we wouldn't still be talking about Star Wars. I mean, fight me. It's great for what it is, but fucking that music, dude.
This is how great the movie is for me. My last day on a show I was on, there was a record store. Me and my buddy walked to it. They put all the expensive vinyls up on the shelves, and and I saw the Last Starfighter soundtrack, like $50, sealed, right?
Right.
Never been opened, which it had been, but I'm like, today's my lucky day. So I was like, let me see that thing. And for just a moment, I was like, I can't remember the score, but I quickly pulled it up on YouTube. I listened to literally 3 or 4 seconds, and I'm like, yes,
I do remember.
I remember everything. I watched it so many times.
I love you,
on
Alex
my bed.
Rogan.
I love you, Craig Stefan. So I bought it, and it was one of I love that album. I'm glad it's in my collection. It's a great movie. Every time I listen to that vinyl, it just brings back all those memories, and yeah.
It's everything you want in an 80s movie. I loved it. I absolutely, as an adult, as a aged man, I loved it. I think it more than stands the test of time. All the things that you want in a movie, regardless of effects and stuff, they nailed. Then they nailed the makeup effects. They got the weirdness in there, the death scene, the creepy, gory death scene. Some ugly little cool makeup designs.
Beautiful Maggie.
Right. Beautiful Maggie. Alex Rogan was great. I'm surprised that guy didn't go on to do more
bigger roles.
Yeah, I thought he was solid. He played.
They're all great.
Yeah, everyone was good. But I feel like the screenplay needs to be studied, and I loved it.
Well, I loved it too. We loved it. This is why we're talking about it. And that's our show. Come back next week for the carryover conclusion. We got more to discuss on lo-fi sci-fi, this time with the film Krull. And if you can't wait that long, please check out our Beyond ThunderamaDome segment, which features Valentina, my 64-year-old Russian stepmother-in-law, going to her very, very first drive-in, and she didn't even know what a drive-in was. So check it out. It's called Beyond ThunderamaDome, Valentina and the Drive-In.
If you please, hit us up on Twitter or Instagram at ThunderamaDome and send us a pic or a note about your favorite drive-in memory with the hashtag drive-in. No dick pics, please.
But speaking of that, it was weird. I didn't put this in the Beyond ThunderamaDome segment because I'm just going to bury it here. Hopefully my kids don't hear this part. But we went to go see the 1984 version of Ghostbusters all together. And the most awkward part of that drive-in It was seeing Mr. Dan Aykroyd get a ghost blowjob. I forgot about that scene.
65-year-old
It was like there's
Russian.
yes.
Do they have blowjobs in Russia?
Well, they don't. I don't know if they have.
I don't know if they're legal.
This scene was very awkward to watch with
Yeah.
Her and my kids.
right.
I never picked up on it as a kid
Right.
until someone recently told me, and then I kind of forgot about it. And then we picked that movie, and yes, we saw
Right.
a ghost blowjob fellatio on the screen
Right.
with my kids and my 64-year-old.
All right, let's edit that. If you've no dick pics, but if you've ever gotten a blowy from a ghost and you've happened to snap a picture,
We don't want one. We don't.
I
want
do.
One. One more thing. I looked up the actor who played Zur on IMDb.
right? Is he related to your stuff?
He was not born in a foreign land. He was born in Little Rock, Arkansas. So I don't know.
Shut up.
I don't know where he got that accent from. Little crazy. But final words for the show. We love you, Last Starfighter.
Truth is, you're scared of leaving this trailer park.
I'm not scared of leaving this trailer park, Alex.
Whatever happens, it's you and me forever, right?
Diarrhea.
Can you tell me the name of the person who broke the record on that game over there? Where I might find him?
You were recruited by the Star League to defend us.
Defend the frontier against Zur and the Kodan Armada.
Victory or death! Victory or death!
Victory or death!
Star League! A refuge for weak worlds not worthy to be our equals!
Peter! Peter!
That was a game, Centauri.
A game? You may have thought it was a game, but it was also a test. Aha! A test sent out across the universe to find those with the gift to be starfighters.
Right, here I am, about to be killed.
Kill. You don't seriously think it's dangerous, do you?